बिलावल महला पंजमा कवन कवन नहीं पतरया तुमरी परतीत महामोहनी मोहया नरक की रीत। मन खुटहर तेरा नहीं बिसास तू महाउदमादा खर का पैखर तो छुटै जऊँ पर लादा रहा। Tell me, which human being has not been let down by Maya and saved only by enamored? Tell me, which human being has not been let down by Maya, who has not fallen by placing their hopes in you? You are enticed by the great enticer. This is the way to hell. O filthy mind, I have no faith left in your advice now, as you have always been engrossed in the love of worldly pleasures. This mind could be guided onto the right path only when it is bound in the chains of meditation with force, without giving it a chance to be idle or inactive, just as a donkey feels at ease only when it is loaded with bundles of heavy loads. Pause. जप तप संजम तुम खंडे जम के दुख डांड सिमरे नाही जोन दुख निर्लज्जे पांड। हर संग सहाई महामीत तिस स्यों तेरा भेद बीधा पंच बटवारिया उपज्यो महाखेद। O my mind, you will also be subjected to the severe punishment at the hands of Yama, god of death, as you had discarded all the virtuous deeds, including the control of your senses or leading a life of discipline. O shameless creature, full of fun and frolic, have you forgotten the sufferings undergone by you in various lower forms of life earlier? O my mind, why are you leading a life of separation and distinct existence from true Master, who has always helped you as a friend and companion? You were bound to suffer since you had joined hands with the 5 vices, the 5 enemies. नानक तिन संतन शरणागति जिन मन वस कीना तन तन सरबस आपना प्रभ जन को दीना। O Nanak, I have taken refuge at the lotus feet of the holy saints who have controlled, subdued their mind. That is why we have surrendered our body, mind and wealth, including all the worldly possessions, to the true Master. बिलावल महला पंजमा उद्दम करत आनंद भया सिमरत सुख सार जप जप नाम गोविंद का पूरन विचार। चरण कमल गुर के जपत हर जप हों जीवा पार ब्रह्माराधते मुख अमृत पीवा रहाओ। When we make an effort and strive for reciting God's true name, then we enjoy the bliss and thrill of life and find peace and tranquility of mind by worshipping the true God. We could develop the love of omnipresent God by reciting true name and engaging in the meditation for Him who is pervading everywhere. We are leading this life by remembering God, finding solace at His lotus feet by taking His support. We enjoy the eternal bliss of life by partaking the nectar of true name through the recitation of Guru's word. Pause. जी जंत सब सुख बसे सब कै मन लोच परोपकार नित चितवते नाही कछ पोच। तन सो थान बसंत तन जय जपिय नाम कथा कीर्तन हर अत कना सुख सहज बिसराम। मन ते कदे न विसरै अनाथ को नाथ नानक प्रभ शरणागति जाके सब किछ हाथ। Now all the beings, big and small, enjoy the comforts of life, as all are longing to engage themselves in virtuous deeds. There are no mean considerations in their heart. They are always thinking of performing some actions for the welfare of others. Blessed is the place where true name is being recited, and praiseworthy are the people abiding there. Thus, the person listening to the Guru's word and discourses in the praise of God enjoys peace and tranquility of mind. O true Master, may I never forsake the remembrance of God, the benefactor of the poor and helpless people. O Nanak, I have sought refuge at the lotus feet of God who is controlling everything. बिलावल महला पंजमा जिन तू बंद कर छोड़या फुन सुख में पाया सदा सिमर चरणार बिंद शीतल होताया जीवतया अथवा मोया किछ काम न आवे जिन्हें रचन रचाया को तिस स्यों रंग लावे रहाओ। You should always remember the lotus feet of the true Master who had preserved you in the mother's womb and then given you all the comforts of life so that the fire of your worldly desires be extinguished and you could attain peace and tranquility of mind. O human, this world will be of no value or use to you while being alive or dead, as the worldly possessions or relatives are of no avail. Hardly any person develops love for the God who has created this whole universe. Pause. रे प्राणी उसन सीत करता करे काम ते काढ़ै कीरी ते हसती करे टूटा ले गाढ़ै अंडज जेरज सेतज उत्पुजा प्रभ की एह किरत कमावन सरब फल रवियै हर निरत हम ते कछु न होवना शरण प्रभ साध मोह मगन कूप अंत ते नानक गुर काढ़। The God alone has created all the joys or sorrows of life, while the saints have been protected against the heat of the sorrows, and God does not allow them to suffer. That God, in fact, is capable of making an elephant from an ant or a person of high status from a low status, and unites the separated person with himself through his grace. All the beings created from the four sources like eggs, semen, perspiration, vegetation are all creation of Vaheguru alone. The doings of all men are useful who are engaged in the worship of God. O Nanak, there is nothing that we could do as we have sought the support of the holy saints. O true Master, may the God save us from the abyss of this worldly well through His grace, as we have fallen into the depths of the blind well. Bilawal mahalla panjama khojat khojat mein fira khojo बन थान अछल छेद भेद प्रभ ऐसे भगवान कब देखो प्रभु आपना आत्म कै रंग जागत ते सुपना भला बस यह प्रभ संग रहाओ। I am trying to seek out the true Master and am wandering in the jungles in my search. The God is not won over by any clever moves of ours and cannot be cut into pieces with any weapons, as no one has ever realized his secrets. It is better to be dreaming than being fully awake, in case we could get the company of that Vaheguru. The real urge within me is to perceive Vaheguru within my heart, but when could I see him? Pause. Varnasram शास्त्र सुनो दर्शन की प्यास, रूप न रेख न पंच तत्व ठाकुर अभिनाश। ओस रूप संतन कहे विरले जोगी सर, कर कृपा जाको मिले तन तन ते सर। सो अंतर सो बाहरे बिन से तह परमान, नानक तिस प्रभ पेटिया जाके पूरन कर्मा। By leading this life in various ashrams and varnas, I have listened to the religious books of lore, as I am keenly yearning and longing for having a glimpse of that Vaheguru. But the true Master possesses no form or symbols, nor is he created out of the 5 elements. Neither the God possesses any human body, nor is he perishable like others. He is an embodiment of truth, peace and bliss, and is called the greatest yogi among the saints. Such people who have been united with the holy saints through God's grace are really blessed ones, being a personification of that God. O Nanak, the fortunate people, predestined by his will, has merged with him through his grace. But that God appears abiding aloof in a distant land and quite distinct from others, though abiding within us, and such people have cast away their doubts and whims. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama, जी जंत सुप्रसन्न भये, देख प्रभ परताप। करज उतार्या सतगुरु, कर आहर आ। All the beings, big and small, have been amused by receiving the greatness and grandeur of the God. The Guru, through his efforts and guidance, has relieved us of the burden of worldly bondage. खात खर्चत निबहत रहे, गुर शब्द खूट। पूर्ण भई समग्री, कबहू नहीं टूट रहा। In exchange for this relief, we have been bestowed with the Guru's word, his Shabad, that we are enjoying by partaking it and sharing it with others, and now we are managing our sustenance with its support without overspending it, without exhausting it. With the help of Guru's word, we amass the wealth of virtues like truth and patience that never gets exhausted. Pause. Sadh sang आराधना हर निध आपार, धर्म अर्थ और काम मोक्ष देते नहीं बार। भगत आराधे एक रंग, गोविंद गोपाल। राम नाम तन संचया, जाका nahi shumar. O friend, the true Master does not take long, does not delay in blessing such people with the 4 worldly treasures of dharma, earth, kam and moksha, who have recited the treasure of true name of limitless God in the company of holy saints. The saints worship Vaheguru, who is the sustainer and benefactor of the whole world, with love and devotion. They have amassed the wealth of true name of the true Master, which is inexhaustible in nature. Saran pare prabh teriya, prabh ki vadiyai, नानक अंत ना पाइए बेअंत गुसाई. O true Master, we always sing your praises only having sought refuge at your lotus feet. O Nanak, the God is limitless and He is the Master of all, whom no one has ever been able to evaluate or know His limits. O Vaheguru, you are the true Master of this whole universe, being ever limitless and beyond our comprehension. Bilawal mahilla panjama, simar simar puran prabhu, karj bhai ras, kartar pur karta vasai, santan ke paas raha. बिघन न को लागता गुरु पैर दास, रखवाला गोविंद राय भगतन की रास. The God Creator is abiding in Kartarpur in the company of the holy saints. As such, all the functions of the saints get completed successfully by reciting His true name, by remembering the God. Pause. The people who have prayed to the Guru, they do not face any hurdles or afflictions. Such holy saints, they possess the wealth of God's true name, and the God Protector honor Himself. टूट न आवे कदे मूल पूरन भंडार, चरण कमल मन तन बसे प्रभ अगम अपार. बस्त कमावत सब सुखी किछ ऊन न दीसै, संत प्रसाद पेटे प्रभु पूरन जगदीसै. Vaheguru saints are never short of the wealth of virtues within their hearts, as they have inculcated the love of God in their hearts fully. They imbibe the love of lotus feet of limitless God in their body and mind with devotion. People who have worshipped God by joining the company of holy saints, they always enjoy all the worldly comforts, and they are never short of any wealth. These people have been united with perfect God, the Creator of the world, through the grace of holy saints. O Nanak, such people who have been united with perfect Guru, they have enjoyed the bliss of life by amassing the treasure of true name. The whole world salutes them and praises them, as they deserve all the praise and respect in the company of holy saints. Bilawal mahalla panjama, har 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 aradhiye hoye arog. रामचंद की लस्टिका जिन मारे आरोग रहाओ. गुरुपुरा हर चौपिए नित की जय भोग. साध संगत कै वारणे मिलिया संजोग. We should always remember and recite true name of the God, which would help us to get rid of all our egoism. The worship of God is like a stick in hand which has struck down the filth of egoism from within the saints. Pause. Let us recite the true name of the God in the company of the Guru, so that we could enjoy the bliss and joy of life daily. We would offer ourselves as a sacrifice to holy saints, which could help us to attain the God in their company. जिस सिमरत सुख पाइए बिन सै वियोग, नानक प्रभ शरणागति करण कारण जोग. O Nanak, we could enjoy the bliss of unison with God by reciting the true name of the true Master and get rid of the affliction of separation from Vaheguru. We have sought the support of that God Creator who is all powerful and who is capable of doing anything, who is controlling everything in this world. राग बिलावल महला पंजमा दुपदे कार पंजमा एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद अवरु पाव सब त्यागया दारु नाम लया ताप पाप सब मिटे रोग शीतल मन भया गुरपुरा राधया सगल दुख गया राखन हारे राखया अपनी करमया रहाओ बाह पकड़ प्रभ काढ़या कीना अपनया सिमर सिमर मन तन सुखी नानक निर्भया. We have now taken the medicine of God's true name, having discarded all other treatments, efforts, which has helped us to cast away all the sufferings of the body, like fever of sins and other ailments, and we have attained peace of mind. We have worshipped the God Almighty by following Guru's teachings, and we have cast away all our afflictions. The true Master has protected me against all the sufferings through His grace. Pause. The God has saved me from all the worldly afflictions by lending His helping hand. O Nanak, we have now attained peace and bliss of life by reciting the true name of God, and we have gotten rid of fear of cycle of births and deaths. Bilaval mahalla panjama kartar mastak thapya naam dino dan सफल सेवा पार ब्रह्म की ताकी नहीं हान आपे ही प्रभ राखता भगतन की आन जो जो चितवै साध जन सो लेता मान रहाओ शरण परे चरणार बिंद जन प्रभ के प्राण सहज सुभाए नानक मिले Jyoti Jyot Saman. The service rendered by the fortunate people has been blessed with the boon of true name of God with His support and has been accepted as successful, and such saints never undergo any sufferings. The God has protected Himself the honor of such holy saints, and He accepts with pleasure whatever is requested by such saints, or fulfills all their worldly desires as proposed by them. Pause. The people who have taken refuge at the lotus feet of the God have become beloved disciples of Him. O Nanak, the soul of such people who have united with God in a routine manner has merged with the prime soul. Bilawal mahalla panjama charan kamal ka asara dino prabha aap prabh saranagat jan pare taka sad partaap rakhan har par prabh ताकि निर्मल सेव राम राज रामदासपुर कीने गुरुदेव रहाओ सदा सदा हर त्याय किछ बिगन न लागे नानक नाम सलाहिय पै दुश्मन पागे. The God has bestowed the holy saints with His own support, and people who have sought refuge at His lotus feet are always considered honorable and praiseworthy. The service of God who protects us against all ills and afflictions is pure and great. The Guru has made the life of his Sikhs successful and fruitful, who reside in the town of Ramdaspur in the company of holy saints. Pause. Let us therefore always worship the God so that we do not have to face any hardships or sufferings. O Nanak, let us sing the praises of God by reciting true name and get rid of our enemies and fear of death. बिलावल महला पंजमा मन तन प्रभ आराधिय मिल साज समागय उचरत गुण गोपाल जस दूर ते जम पागय राम नाम जो जन जपै अन दिन सद जागय तंत मंत नह जोई तित चाख न लागय रहाओ काम क्रोध मद मान मोह बिन से अनुरागय आनंद मगन रस राम रंग नानक सरनागय. Let us remember the God Almighty with love and devotion, with body and mind, in the company of holy saints, holy congregations. The Yama, god of death, runs away from us with fear by singing the praises of true Master. No one could ever think of any harm with magical powers being perpetrated on such people who manage to recite God's true name and keep awake from the slumber of ignorance during the day and night, and they are protected from effects of any evil eyes. Pause. People who are imbued with the love of God's true name, they always get rid of all their vices and sins like wanton desires, anger, egoism, and worldly attachments. O Nanak, people who have sought the support of true Master, they are always enamored and immersed in the blissful love of true God. Bilawal mahalla panjama जी जुगत वस प्रभु क्या जो कहे सो करना भय प्रसन्न गोपाल राय भाव किछ नहीं करना दुख न लागे कदे तुध पार ब्रह्म चितारे जम कंकर नेर नावै गुर सिख प्यारे रहाओ करण कारण समर्थ है तिस बिन नहीं होर नानक प्रभु शरणागति साचा मन जोर. The arrangements of the sustenance of all the beings are controlled by that God. It's all in His hands, so we should always function and act as per His will, as it pleases Him. People who have won the acceptance and pleasure of Vaheguru, they do not suffer from any fear complex of others, as all other worldly fears go away when we develop the wonder awe of Vaheguru. O brother, you will not come to grief or suffer any afflictions, provided you were to remember Vaheguru by reciting his true name. O Guru's beloved Sikh, by reciting God's true name, neither the Yama nor his assistants will come anywhere near you. Pause. O Nanak, the creator of whole universe is only one, the God Almighty, as there is no second power apart from Him. Thus we have sought refuge at the lotus feet of the true Master, and our mind is depending on His support alone. Bilawal mahalla panjama सिमर सिमर प्रभु आपना नाठा दुख ठाओ विश्राम पाए मिल साध संग ताते बहुर न ताओ बलिहारी गुर आपने चरणन बल जाओ आनंद सुख मंगल बने पेखत गुण गाओ रहाओ कथा कीर्तन रागनाद तुने हो बन्यो सुआओ नानक प्रभु सुप्रसन्न भय वांछत फल पाओ. By reciting the true name of the God, we have gotten rid of our ignorance, the abode of all sufferings, Now we will not be taken through the cycle of births and deaths, as we have attained truth, true God, in the company of holy saints. I am a sacrifice to the lotus feet of my Guru, and then I sing the praises of God by perceiving a glimpse of the perfect Guru. I have enjoyed peace and bliss of life, along with worldly comforts and longing for a unison for Vaheguru. Pause. Now my only preoccupation is to give discourses of God's greatness, singing the praises of Him with Guru's word, with the help of musical instruments, and this is like a boon for me. O Nanak, now God's acceptance and pleasure has been won by us, and we have gotten all our desires fulfilled. बिलावल महला पंजमा दास तेरे की बेनती हृद कर परगास तुमरी कृपा ते पार ब्रह्म दोखन को नास चरण कमल का आसरा प्रभु पुरख गुणतास कीर्तन नाम सिमरत रहो जब लग कट सास रहाओ मात पिता बंदप तू है तू सर्व निवास नानक प्रभ शरणागति जाको निर्मल जास. The prayer of this devotee of yours is that I may be enlightened within my heart by the light of your knowledge. O Vaheguru, all our ills have been cast away through your grace. O true Master, I have sought the support of your lotus feet and would solicit the boon of reciting true name and singing your praises as long as this life exists. Pause. O Nanak, I have sought refuge at the lotus feet of the true Master, whose praises and greatness are pure and real. O true Master, you are my mother, father, and the nearest relative, and you are pervading all the beings equally. बिलावल महला पंजमा सर्व सिद्ध हर गाये सब भला मनावहे साध साध मुख ते कहे सुन दास मिलावहे सुख सहज कल्याण रस पूरै गुर कीन जी सगल दयाल भय हर हर नाम चीन रहाओ पूर रहो सर्वत्र में प्रभु गुणी गहीर नानक भगत आनंद में पेख प्रभु की तीर. We could attain all the occult powers by reciting God's true name, and all the people wish such people well and praise them. All the people salute and thank such a person, and then the whole world approaches this person for attaining salvation by listening to his praises. The perfect Guru has blessed us with the virtues of bliss, peace, salvation, and love. All the beings have become benevolent to us as we have realized that the true Master is the benefactor of salvation. Pause. O Nanak, the true Master, the ocean of all virtues, is pervading everywhere in equal measure. Now we enjoy the bliss of life by worshipping that Vaheguru on perceiving his patience and grace. बिलावल महला पंजमा अरदास सुनी दातार प्रभ होए कृपाल राख लिया अपना सेवको मुख निंदक छार तुझे न जो है को मीत जन तू गुर का दास पार ब्रह्म तू राखिया दे अपने हाथ रहाओ जिनका दाता एक है बिया नहीं होर नानक की बेनंतियाँ में तेरा जोर. The God Benefactor has listened to our prayers and has bestowed His grace and benevolence on us. So the true Master has protected the honor of His devotees, whereas the slanderers, they have been disgraced and discredited by throwing dust on their face. O brother, you are the disciple of Guru, who is a friend of all. You will not come to grief with any sufferings. The true Master has saved you Himself with His helping hand. Pause. O Nanak, my only prayer to God is that I depend solely on His support, as there is only one God, benefactor of all the beings, and there is no second power on earth. बिलावल महल्ला पंजमा मीत हमारे साजना राखे गोविंद निंदक मृतक होए गए तुम हो निचिंद राव सगल मनोरथ प्रभ किए बेटे गुरुदेव जय जयकार जगत में सफल जाकी से. O my dear friend, our true friend, the God has protected the honor of His devotees. You should get free from all your worries, as the slanderers have faced great humiliation due to their dishonor. Pause. The true Master has fulfilled all our desires and united us with the perfect Guru. We have seen all our service of true Master bearing fruit, as we have been hailed and saluted throughout the world. The true Master is the limitless and highest authority with all the virtues, and all the beings are under His control. O Nanak, I have sought refuge at the lotus feet of Vaheguru, as He has helped me at every place, being by my side all the time. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama Gurupura Radhya Hoye Kirpal Marag Sant Bataya Tute Jamjal Dukh Bhuk Sansa Mityal Gavat Prabhanam Sehaj Sukhanand Ras पूरन सब काम रहाओ जलन भुजी शीतल भये राखे प्रभु आप नानक प्रभु शरणागति जाखाओ वड परताप. The true Master has bestowed His grace and benevolence on us since the time we have worshipped the Guru and followed Guru's teachings and recited His true name. The saints have shown us the right path, which has cut down all the bondage of the court of death Yama. We have cast away all our sufferings, hunger and doubts by reciting God's true name. We have enjoyed the eternal bliss by developing love of God, and all our functions have been completed successfully. Pause. Now we have extinguished the fire of worldly desires, including jealousy and anguish within the heart, and we have attained peace and tranquility of mind. O Nanak, we have sought the support of the true Master, who occupies the highest and greatest positions in the world. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama तरत सुहावी सफल थान पूरन भय काम पावना था प्रम मिट गया रवया नित राम साध जना के संग बस्त सुख सहज बिसराम साई कड़ी सुलखणी सिमरत हर नाम रहाओ प्रगट भय संसार में फिरते पहनाम नानक तिस शरणागति कट कट सब जान. This human body has blossomed forth like earth by reciting true name, and the heart has become thrilled with all our tasks completed successfully. Then all our fear of Shama and other misgivings have been cast away, they have been destroyed. Our mind has attained peace and stability by reciting God's true name in the company of holy saints. Blessed and praiseworthy is the moment when we have recited the true name of God. Pause. O Nanak, we have sought refuge at the lotus feet of God, who is omniscient and knows the inner feelings of all the men. We were leading a life of complete oblivion, being unknown and hiding from others, whereas now we have become known and acclaimed all over the world by reciting God's true name, and God has protected our honor. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama रोग मिटाया आप प्रभ उपजया सुख शांत वड परताप अचरज रूप हर कीनी दात गुरु गोविंद कृपा करी राखया मेरा पाई हम तिसकी शरणागति जो सदा सहाय रहाओ बिरथी कदे न होवई जन की अरदास नानक जोर गोविंद का पूरन गुणतास. The God Himself has helped us to cast away our malady of egoism so that we have now attained peace and tranquility of mind. The wondrous God who occupies the highest status with highest abode within us has bestowed on us the boon of the nectar of true name. The Guru, the God, has protected my brother with love against sins, vices or sufferings through his grace and benevolence. O brother, the God has been our protector, so we have sought the support of Him who has always been our supporter and protector. Pause, O Nanak, the prayer of the holy saints never goes to waste and always gets accepted. As such, we are always proud of might of Vaheguru, the ocean of all virtues. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama मर मर जन्मे जिन बिसरया जीवन का दाता पार ब्रह्म जन सेवया अन दिन रंग राता शांत सहज आनंद कना पूरन भैयास सुख पाया हर साध संग सिमरत गुणतास रहाओ सुन स्वामी अरदास जन तुम अंतर जामी थान थनंतर रव रहे नानक के स्वामी. People who have forgotten the God benefactor are taken through the cycle of births and deaths. However, such people who have served the true Master, they are imbued with love of God all the time. All our hopes have been fulfilled and we have attained the peace of mind that has resulted in the bliss and thrill of our soul. We have recited the true name of the God, the ocean of virtues, in the company of holy saints and have enjoyed eternal bliss. Pause. O Nanak, my true Master is pervading all over the place, being omnipresent. O omniscient God, knowing all our inner feelings, may you listen to my prayers and unite me with yourself. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama ताती वाव न लग गई पार ब्रह्म शरणाई चौगिर्द हमारे राम कार दुख लगे न पाई सतगुर पूरा पेटिया जिन बनत बनाई राम नाम औखद दिया एका लिव लाई रहाओ राख लिए दिन राखन हार सब ब्याद मिटाई कहो नानक कृपा भई प्रभ भय सहाय. By taking the support of the true Master, we are not affected by any hurdles or sufferings from any afflictions. We are protected all around by the protective cover of God's worship, so that we cannot come across any sufferings or difficulties. We have joined the company of the perfect Guru, so that the God has made such protective arrangements for us through the company of holy saints. The true Master has in fact bestowed on us the panacea of all ills, the boon of true name, and the God has imbibed His love within us, who is pervading all over the world. Pause. The Saviour God has saved me and eradicated all my sickness. O Nanak, God has showered me with His mercy. He has become my help and support. He has protected us through His grace, ridding us of all afflictions or sufferings. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama Apne Balak आप रखियन पार ब्रह्म गुरुदेव सुख शांत सहज आनंद भय पूरन भई सेव राव भगत जना की बेनती सुने प्रभ आप रोग मिटाए जीवालियन जाका वड परताप दोख हमारे बख्शियन अपनी कल तारी मन बांछत फल दितियन नानक बलिहारी. The Guru, an embodiment of that one and only divine, has protected us. We are His children. With His own support, He has protected us. We have attained peace and tranquility of mind when our service was accepted and approved by Him, and we were filled with the eternal bliss and joy within our hearts. Pause. The prayers of His saints have been heard and accepted by the true God, who has given the boon of the life to them by casting away their malady of fever, as the God's greatness and might is limitless. He has forgiven me for my sins. O Nanak, I would offer myself as a sacrifice to the true Master, who has blessed us with all our cherished desires fulfilled. The God has bestowed on us the benedictions of true name through His grace, having pardoned all our sins through His might. Rag Bilawal Mahalla Panjama Chaupade Dupade Karchema Ikonkar Satgur Prasad मेरे मोहन सरवनी एह ना सुनाए साकत गीत नाद तुन गावत बोलत बोल अजाए रहाओ. O my true Master, may I never hear with my ears such songs in a high tone which are being sung by faithless people, oblivious of God's worship, as all such songs are useless and meaningless. Pause. सेवत सेव सेव साध सेवो सदा करो किरताए अभय दान पावो पुरख दाते मिल संगत हर गुण गाए रसना अघय अघय गुण राते नैन दरस रंग लाए हो कृपाल दीन दुख भंजन मोह चरण हृदय वसाए सब हो तलय तलय सब ऊपर एह दृष्ट दृष्टाए अभिमान खोए 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 खोई हों मोको सतगुरु मंत्र दिड़ाए अतुल 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 ने तुलियाए भगत वछल कृपाए जो जो शरण पर्यो गुरु नानक अभयदान सुख पाए. O true God, I would always be engaged in reciting your true name by serving those holy saints who are always immersed in your service. O God benefactor, O true master, I would be seeking the boon of your true name, your love and fear, by singing your praises in the company of holy saints. O true master, may I always be immersed in singing your limitless praises with my tongue, and my eyes be glued to perceiving your claims with love and devotion. O destroyer of the sufferings of the poor and helpless people, may I be blessed with your grace as to inculcate the love of your lotus feet in my heart. The earth, dust of the lowest status, lying beneath our feet, which occupy the lowest position among all the body, finally gets on top of this body after the death of a person. Let us also develop the same humility of mind in life. When the Guru impressed on us the Guru's word, his teachings, thus casting away all our ego, we got into the habit of perfect truthfulness and the right approach to this life. O Nanak, the true master, who is beloved benefactor of his holy saints, is limitless, and his greatness cannot be evaluated by any means. People who have sought refuge at the lotus feet of the God have been blessed with the boon of the true name. Thus they are enabled to enjoy the eternal bliss of life. बिलावल महल्ला पंजमा, प्रभ जी तू मेरे प्राण आधारै, नमस्कार दंडौत बंदना, अनेक बार जाओ बारै रहाओ, उठत बैठत सोवत जागत एव मन तुझे चितारै, सुख दुख इस मन की बिरथा, तुझ ही आगे सारै, तू मेरी ओठ बल बुध तन, तुम ही तुम्हें मेरे परवार है, जो तुम करो सोई पल हमरे, पेख नानक सुख चरनारै. O true Master, you are the only support of this life of mine, and I would salute you and praise you by lying prostrate before you, and would offer myself as a sacrifice to you millions of times. Pause. O Vaheguru, this mind always remember you, whether in a sitting, standing, sleeping posture, or being awake, and I worship you all the time. However, the feeling of joy or sorrow depends on the state of my mind. Whatever we are offered in life is according to your dictates, as per your will, as all are treated on par by you. So we have to accept whatever is bestowed on us by you. You are my only mainstay in life, and all my strength, wisdom, and wealth flows from you alone. You are everything for me, including my strength, intelligence, and wealth. O Nanak, we accept with pleasure whatever is offered to us by true God. In fact, we enjoy all the joy and comforts of life by perceiving a glimpse of the lotus feet of Vaheguru. Bilaval Mahalla Panjama, Suniyat Prabhatav Sagal Udharan, मोह मगन पतित संग प्राणी, ऐसे मने बिसारन रहाओ, संच बिख्याले ग्राहज कीनी, अमृत मन ते डारन, काम क्रोध लोभ रत निंदा, सत संतोख बिदारन, इन ते काढ़ ले हो मेरे स्वामी, हार परे तुम सारन, नानक की बेनंती प्रभ पै, साध संग रंग तारन. O true Master, I have heard that you are bestowing your grace and blessing on us by giving your true name, but we have forsaken such a court from our mind, enjoying the worldly pleasures, engrossed in vicious thoughts and sinful actions, like a sinner. Pause. This man has amassed the poison of vices, having cast away the nectar of true name from his heart. Then he has developed the love of wanton desires, anger, greed, slandering, and destroyed the elements of truthfulness and patience from his mind. O true Master, may you save us from these vices through your grace, as we have finally sought your support in desperation and disappointment from all other sources. O Nanak, my only prayer to God is that He may enable us to cross this ocean of life successfully by uniting us in the company of holy saints. बिलावल महल्ला पंजमा संतन कै सुनियत प्रभ की बात कथा कीर्तन आनंद मंगल तुन पूर रही दिनस अर रात राव कर कृपा अपने प्रभ कीने नाम अपने की कीनी दात आठ पहर गुण गावत प्रभ के काम क्रोध इस तंते जात त्रिपत अगाए पेख प्रभ दर्शन अमृत हर रस भोजन खात चरण सरन नानक प्रभ तेरी कर कृपा संत संग मिलात. The talk of singing, of praises of God has been heard from holy saints only. It is only in the company of holy saints that we hear the blissful discourses and the singing of Guru's word, Kirtan, in a perfect measure, day and night. Pause. The God has accepted us through His grace as His slaves and blessed us with His true name. By singing the praises of God throughout the 24 hours, we could cast away all our vices like wanton desires and anger. O Nanak, the saints have been satiated by perceiving the glimpse of true God as they are partaking the food of nectar of true name all the time. O true Master, it is through your grace that we have been enabled to join the company of holy saints as we have taken the support of your lotus feet. बिलावल महल्ला पंजमा राख लिए अपने जन आप कर कृपा हर हर नाम दीनो बिनस गए सब सोग संताप रहाओ गुण गोविंद गाओ सब हर जन राग रतन रसना आलाप कोट जन्म की तृष्णा निवरी राम रसायन आत्म त्राप चरण गहे शरण सुख दाते गुर कै बचन जपे हर चाप सागर तरे परम पै बिन से कहो नानक ठाकुर परताप. The true Master has protected the honor of His devotees Himself, people who have been blessed with the boon of true name through His grace and benevolence have cast away all their sufferings or afflictions and sorrows also. Pause. O brother, let us join hands in singing the praises of God and sing the jewel-like ragas with our tongue in the praise of God. Thus we could satisfy all our worldly desires of millions of ages and fulfill our hopes, as the nectar of God's true name is the fountainhead of all bliss, which satiates our mind by partaking this nectar of true name. O Nanak, we have been able to cross this ocean of worldly sufferings through the grace and might of God, which has cast away all our misgivings and fear of death, as we have received the true name by listening to Guru's word. Thus we have sought the support of God, benefactor, bestower of all joy and comfort, by seeking refuge at the lotus feet of true Master. बिलावल महल्ला पंजमा ताप लाहया गुर सिरजनहार सतगुर अपने को बल जाई जिन पैज रखी सारे संसार रहाओ कर मस्तक तार बालक रख लीनो प्रभ अमृत नाम महारस दीनो दास की लाज रखे मिहिरवान गुरु नानक बोले दरगह परवान. The God Creator has removed all the three fevers, afflictions of His holy saints. We would offer ourselves as a sacrifice to our Guru, who has protected our honor in the whole world by relieving the fever pause, the true master has protected his devotee by lending his helping hand and has bestowed on us the nectar of his true name. The true God has protected the honor of his devotees through his grace and benevolence. O Nanak, people who sing the praises of God in the company of holy saints, they get their prayers accepted and approved in his presence. राग बिलावल महला पंजमा चौपदे दुपदे कार सतवा इकुंखार सतगुर प्रसाद सतगुर शब्द उजारो दीपा बिनस्यो अंधकार तह मंदिर रतन कोठड़ी खुली अनूपा रहाओ बिस्मन बिसम भय जो पेख्यो कहन न जाए वटियाई मरण भय ऊहा संग माते ओत पोत लपटाई आल जाल नहीं कछु जंजारा अहुद नहीं पोरा ऊंचन ऊंचा बीच न खींचा हाउ तेरा तू मोरा. The place where the lamp of Guru's teachings is lit gets enlightened with the knowledge of the God. The darkness of ignorance has been dispelled from the heart with Guru's message, and the virtues have appeared as the door of virtuous deeds have opened up with Guru's guidance. Pause. O true Master, we were thrilled and wonderstruck to have perceived your glimpse and cannot describe your greatness and grandeur, even having attained the state of bliss of life, as your might and presence was felt pervading all around, like the warp and woof of the weaver. So we were enamored by God's presence and enjoyed the thrill and bliss of his unison. O true Master, whatever worldly bondage and involvements of the body we were engrossed in now appeared useless and without any purpose, as our egoism was not effective anymore. I am only your slave, whereas you are the highest and purest authority, without any particular leanings towards anyone, being omnipresent. एक अंकार एक पसारा एक अपर अपारा एक विस्तीरन एक संपूर्ण एक प्राणाधारा निर्मल निर्मल सूचा सूचो सूचा सूचो सूचा अंत न अंता सदा बेअंता कहो नानक ऊंचो ऊंचा. O true Master, you are without any form, and the whole worldly drama has been enacted by you, being the greatest and all-powerful authority. You are the only God Creator, and you are pervading equally in all the beings. You are the only life-giving support to all the beings of this universe. O Vaheguru, you are the purest and highest authority. You are full of grandeur and purity. O Nanak, the God is limitless and beyond our reach or our comprehension, as He is the highest power in the universe who cannot be evaluated by us. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama बिन हर काम नावत है जास्यो राज माच तुम लागे ओ मोहनी मुहावत है रहाओ कनिक कामनी सेज सोहनी छोड़ खिनै में जावत है उरज रहो इंद्री रस प्रेर्यो बिखै ठगोरी खावत है तिनको मंदिर सा सवार्यो पावक तलय चरावत है ऐसे गढ़ में ऐठ ठीलो फूल फूल क्या पावत है पंचदूत मूंड पर ठाटे केस गहे फिरावत है दृष्ट नाव है अंध ज्ञानी सोए रहो मधुमावत है जाल पसार जोग बिसथारी पंखी जो फहावत है कहो नानक बंधन काटन को मैं सतगुर पुरख त्यावत है None of the worldly possessions except God's true name is of any avail. This worldly falsehood in which we are engrossed by developing love for it and are always enjoying in its company is deceiving and looting the whole world with its charm. Pause. This Maya in the form of gold spouse a comfortable and beautiful living which deserts this human in a moment, or this human leaves this worldly falsehood at the time of death. This human remains engrossed in vicious and sinful actions under the influence of sensual pleasures and then gets engulfed by some deceptive and deceitful plant of sinful life, being engrossed in worldly pleasures. O foolish man, you have built and adorned a palace of straw, and under it you have lit a fire, sitting all puffed up with pride in such a castle. You stubborn-minded fool, what do you think will you gain? The 5 thieves stand over your head and seize you, grabbing you by your hair. They will drive you on. You do not see them, you blind and ignorant person. You are intoxicated with ego. You just keep sleeping. The net has been spread out and the bait has been scattered. Like a bird, you are being trapped. O Nanak, all my bonds have been broken because I meditate on the true Guru, that primal being. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama, Har Har Naam Apar Moli, Pran Pyaro Mane Adharo, चीत चितवो जैसे पांत बोली रहाओ, सहज समायो गुरे बतायो, रंग रंगी मेरे तन की चोली, प्रिय मुख लागो जौवड पागो, सुहाग हमारो कतो न डोली, रूप न धूप न गंध न दीपा, ओत पोत अंग अंग संग मोली, कहु नानक प्रिय रवि सुहागन, अतनी की मेरी बनी खटोली. The true name of the God is invaluable and limitless. I always remember the true name in such a manner as a beetle lover keeps his beetles so as not to get spilled in stock. I always recite and remember the true name of God with more love and devotion than my life, as true name is my only support. Since the time the Guru has taught me about true name, I have been imbued with its love effortlessly and have attained peace and tranquility of mind. Now we have enjoyed the bliss of being imbibed with this love in body and mind. It was all due to our good fortune, being predestined with God's will, that we have perceived a glimpse of God's spouse and came face to face with Him. Now we are sure to be blessed with the presence of God's spouse always, and will never get separated from Him. Though I have never possessed a beautiful form, neither have I sung the praises of God, nor do I possess the lamp of knowledge or fragrance of scented things, the might of God has percolated throughout my body through Guru's grace, resulting in my complete unison with the love of God. O Nanak, I was blessed by the presence of God's spouse through his unison, which has beautified my faith in Him, and I am always immersed in love of God's spouse. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama, गोविंद 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 मई, जब ते पेटे साध दियारा, तब ते दुर्मत दूर भई रहाओ, पूर्ण पूर रहो संपूर्ण, शीतल शांत याल दई, काम क्रोध तृष्णा अहंकारा, तन ते होए सगल खई, सत संतोख दया तरुण सुच, संतन ते हो मंत लई, कहो नानक जिन मनो पछानिया, तिनको सगली सोच पई. Since the time we have gotten the company of holy saints, our wicked cleverness has been eliminated and we have become an embodiment of that Govind. Pause. The true Master, who is pervading the whole universe, has bestowed us with peace and tranquility through his benevolence. This has resulted in casting away all the vices like wanton desires, anger, and worldly desires from our body. O Nanak, now we have attained the virtues of truthfulness, patience, mercy, religious duty, and purity of thoughts through the holy saints as their teachings. People who have realized the true form of God within their mind have attained self-realization. बिलावल महल्ला पंजमा क्या हम जी जंत बेचारे बरन न साके एक रुमाए ब्रह्म हेस सिद्ध मुन इंदिरा बेअंत ठाकुर तेरी गत नहीं पाए क्या कथिय किछ कथन न जाए जय जय देखा तह रहा समाई रहाओ जय महापयान दुख जम सुनिए तह मेरे प्रभ तू है सहाय शरण पर्यो हर चरण गए प्रभ गुरु नानक को भूज बुझाई. We are helpless and humble beings like small worms and are not in position to describe even a small portion of your greatness. Even gods like Brahma, Indra and Shiva or Siddhas and Munis have not realized the real greatness or secrets of limitless God. O true Master, we cannot describe or mention a bit of your greatness and form. Wherever I look around, I perceive you only pervading all over, being omnipresent. Pause. O Vaheguru, it is only your support and help in this land of Yama that is very horrible and full of sufferings. O Nanak, I have been made to realize the true facts of God's secrets since the time I have taken refuge at the lotus feet of the Guru. O Vaheguru, the Guru has enabled me to realize all the secrets of nature and I have sought your support by holding on to your lotus feet, and my honor now rests in your hands and care. Bilawal Mahalla Panjama Agam Roop Abhinasi Karta Patit Pavit Ik Nimak Chapaya Achraj Sunyo Parapat Petale Sant Charan Charan Manalaya कित विधि है कित संयम पाए कहो सुरजन कित जुगति त्याय रहाओ जो मानक मानक की सेवा ओ तिसकी लई लई फुन जाय नानक शरण शरण सुख सागर मोहि टेक तेरो इक नाय. O true Master, you are the creator of all, indestructible beyond our reach, and purifier of all the sinners. I could cross this ocean of life successfully, provided you were to bless me with the recitation of your true name, even for a moment. O wondrous God, I have heard that we could get united with you through the company or support of your holy saints by giving a glimpse of your vision. Let someone explain to me the mode of approach or efforts needed for attaining God. O holy saints, O godlike saints, I pray to tell me the means of reciting the true name of the God, how to worship Him. Pause. The people who are rendered help or service by someone else, they never forget about the service rendered by them, and they always remember about the way the other person served them. O Nanak, O ocean of bliss and God benefactor, I have sought your support only, discarding all other help, and have taken refuge in the support of your true name. May you protect our honor with your helping hand, and through your grace, as it all rests with you now. बिलावल महल्ला पंजमा। संत शरण संत टहल करी, तंद बंद अर सगल जंजारो, अवर काज ते छूट परी। रहाओ सुख सहज अर कनु आनंदा, गुर ते पायो नाम हरि। ऐसो हर रस बरन न साको, गुरपुरै मेरी उलट तरी। पेख्यो मोहन सब कै संगे, ऊन न काहू सगल परी। पूरन पूर रह्यो कृपा निध, कहो नानक मेरी पूरी परी। I've served the holy saints only, having taken refuge at their lotus feet. I have thus got emancipated from all the worldly bondage or other worldly involvements through their support. Pause. When we attain the nectar of true name of God through Guru's guidance, we enjoyed all the comforts and bliss of life. Now I enjoy such a joy and bliss by reciting the true name, which is indescribable at the court, has enabled me to cut off myself from all worldly attachments and to recite God's true name all the time. O Nanak, now I have perceived the God pervading all the beings equally, being omnipresent. There is no place devoid of His presence, and He is seen pervading all the places in equal measure. You are united and merged with all the beings, as your grace and benevolence is seen pervading everywhere. I have realized the secrets of God through Guru's grace, and I am fully satiated, having been united with the God, and all my desires or hopes, needs have been fulfilled. बिलावल महल्ला पंजमा। मन क्या कहता हूँ क्या कहता, जान प्रवीण ठाकुर प्रभ मेरे। तिस आगे क्या कहता रहाओ, अनबोले को तुही पछाने। जो जीवन में होता रे मन काय, कहा लो डहके। जो पेखत ही संग सुनता, ऐसो जान भय मन आनंद। आन न बियो करता, कहो नानक गुर भय दयारा। हर रंग न कभू लहता। O true Master, my mind tells the soul to enjoy the pleasures of worldly vices, whereas the soul tells the mind, O foolish man, leaving aside the worldly pleasures, you should get interested in reciting God's true name. O my true God, you know our inner feelings of the heart, so how could I explain my real feelings of the heart to you? I am engrossed in enjoying the worldly pleasures within, though outwardly I pose to be imbued with the love of God. Pause. O my mind, why are you wandering in dual-mindedness? To what extent would you be involved in your whims and fancies? How could you keep anything hidden from the God who is perceiving and listening to everything, being present within you? O true Master, whatever the human beings feel within their hearts is known to you already, without being told or spoken about, as you are omniscient. O true Master, we have recognized and accepted you as the God Creator of all the beings. We have enjoyed within ourselves by having this feeling, as there is no other Creator except you. O God, you are omniscient, and we are happy to know this. O Nanak, your love is everlasting and does not get lessened any time. O true Master, we could get merged with you through your love when the Guru blesses us with his grace and your love.